Hello there, welcome back. This is Sheepishly here once again, and today I have a very special farming strategy for you guys, where I'll be showing you how to farm the Interrogation small cluster jewel. That's right, for those of you who don't know, the Interrogation is a very rare drop of the delirium content. This small cluster jewel is a build enabling unique, and there's quite a lot of builds that needs it, including a very meta build using tectonic slams. Now, this cluster jewel goes anywhere between 4 to 6 divines depending on time of day. The reason for the wide price range is because the market is very thin. Not many people are farming this because they don't really know how to farm it. Well, today I'm going to show you an easy way of farming the Interrogation using the idol setup in the Legacy of Phrecia. It is an extremely easy method. The idols are very cheap. Not many people have caught on to this strategy just yet, and the maps are actually fairly easy to run. You can average an Interrogation drop every 7 to 8 maps, and your investment per map is maybe like 6-7 chaos. So you're guaranteed to make profit if you can run through the map quickly and kill the delirium bosses, because that's what drops the Interrogation. So, if you're playing in the Legacy of Phrecia League and you really need the Interrogation to take your build to the next level, this video is exactly for you, because I'm gonna teach you how to farm the Interrogation quickly and painlessly, so you don't have to shell out 4, 5, or even 6 divines for this cluster jewel. Or, if you're just looking for a new farming strategy, I myself have been farming the Interrogation for the past 2-3 days, and I was averaging something like 10 to 11 divines per hour doing this farm, so it's incredibly profitable as well. If you want to learn more about the profit side of things, please stay till the end of the video where I will be breaking down my 70 map test result. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the actual strategy and setup. What you should keep in mind is that the Interrogation is one of the 7 unique cluster jewels that can drop from Colossus and Omniphobia in tiers 11 plus maps. So you can't farm this in Simulacrum, you can only farm this in maps. Now, there are one of 2 ways of getting delirium on your maps. One is through what's called a natural deli, and that is a delirium mirror, so that's a mirror thing you can walk into at the start of your map. That's a very unreliable method because it is very difficult to control how delirious you are throughout the entire map, because that's dynamic, right? It changes. The more consistent way is with these things called the delirium orbs. Each time you apply one of these delirium orbs to a map, you're going to add 20% deliriousness to it. So I've got here a map that I typically run, which is City Squares. So this one, I've applied 2 deli orbs to it, so you are 40% delirious. Now that's very important because the chance of encountering a delirium boss is equal to how delirious you are. So here we have a 40% delirious map, therefore we have a 40% chance of encountering a delirium boss. Now that is not very good. What we want to do is bring this 40% up to 100% chance, so we're guaranteed to spawn both bosses in a single map. The way we do this is with this 1x1 idol. There's a line there that says delirium encounters in your maps are 50% more likely to spawn a unique boss. Now this number rose from 35 to 50%. You want to get one that rose 50%. You don't want this to be 35, you don't want this to be 40, you want this to be 49, you want exactly 50%. And the reason is that we need to get to exactly 150% chance or higher in order to make sure that our 40% delirious chance goes up to 100% chance of spawning a boss, right? Because 40 times 1.5 exactly gets you to 100. So by stacking 3 of these perfectly rolled 1x1 idols, you're gonna meet that requirement right away. Now, if you cannot afford a max rolled 1x1 idols, these are incredibly cheap, by the way. I bought these for 5C each. Nobody's looking at this mod at the moment. It is not a very well-known strategy, so you can probably grab these for fairly cheap. Also, 1x1 idol just isn't that expensive because it is super common. So you want 3 of these mono idols, and you're guaranteed to spawn 2 deli bosses every single map. Great. What's the chance of dropping a unique jewel from a deli boss? It's only 7%. That's a very low chance, and that's what makes this farm quite RNG dependent and very frustrating in the past. But with the new idol system, what a lot of people don't realize is that we can actually increase that 7% chance to drop a unique jewel for each boss up to something like 46%. And the way we do that is by stacking as many of these 1x2 or 2x1 idols that has this line called deli bosses in your maps have a 40% increased chance to drop a unique cluster jewel. You can stack 14 of these for a whopping 560% increased chance of dropping these unique cluster jewels, which means that you almost have a 50% chance to drop a jewel each time you kill one of these bosses. So let's do the math. For each map, we're guaranteed to have 2 bosses, and there's a 50% chance to drop a unique cluster jewel, which means if we average 1 unique cluster jewel per map. and there's a total of 7 cluster jewels. They're all equally weighted, which means that one in every 7 maps or 8 maps, if you're a bit unlucky, you will drop an interrogation. Right, this is some really good odds because you can run these maps in 2 minutes flat. Provided, of course, you can actually kill the bosses. Now, these bosses are not the easiest, so my recommendation before you attempt this farm is 1. Get as much chaos resistance as possible, preferably 60 plus, or even cap your chaos rats at 75%. And secondly, have some kind of elemental ailment immunity or avoidance, because there's a lot of ele ailments in daily content, and you really don't want to deal with that. So that's the strategy, that's the setup, it's all very straightforward. If you think you've got a good handle on it, have a go. I think it's very rewarding and profitable, but I will just quickly do a map to demonstrate what I mean by this farm and how it actually goes in practice. So again, here we have our idol setup on the left hand side. So if I flick through, you can see the mods here. Daily bosses have 560% increased chance to drop unique cluster jewels. That's the one that's gonna bump up the drop chances per map. And then we also have the one up here. Where is it? Where is it? Daily encounters in your maps have 150% more chance to spawn a unique boss. So when we put this map in, which is 40% daily, we're guaranteed to spawn both bosses. Let's quickly run through the map and see how we go. One thing I'm still working out is that I don't have very good idols, and the reason I say that is because my idols is pretty much one stat idols, right? I don't have any useful stats besides deliriousness on them. I don't have anything that kind of boosts map drops, which I think you can get for your 1+1 idols, and I have some June chances because I was farming a bit of Phrecia, but haven't been really lucky, so I haven't really gotten too many good drops from that before. Yeah, so essentially for mapping, you actually don't really need to clear the whole map. You kind of just want to run around and spawn the unique bosses from Delirium. You don't actually need to kill anything. It's not like Beyond where I have to kill monsters to get the boss. So I'm just running through, killing things where I can just to help a bit of map sustaining as well as get a bit of like experience as well. But what we're really doing is waiting for the daily bosses to spawn. Okay, so here we go. This one is Koses. I'm just gonna pop all my single target damage and hopefully I kill him before he kills me. My build is really squishy. Okay, we killed him. He didn't drop anything, but that's fine. You do have a 50% chance to drop a jewel, so it's not always expected for you to get the jewel. Let's quickly rush through and see if we can find where Koses is, wherever he's hiding. There we go. I was gonna say we've explored the whole map and don't know where he is. Quickly burst him down. Small cluster jewel. What is it? Ooh, naturals. The siege. Sorry. So this is one of the ones that's a bit worthless. Yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't get anything good here on the demonstration. And one of the good things about this farm is that not only the interrogations money this league, so I typically sell these at like 5-6 divines. We also have the Calamitous Vision, which is a Herald small cluster jewel. Now this one has been pretty cheap in previous leagues because not many people play the Herald auto bombing playstyle. But with Surfcaster as part of the Ascendancies, a lot of people actually buying this. I was able to sell this for 50 chaos each, or roughly half a divine for the past 4 days. On top of that, we also have a bunch of people buying the Hollow Palm technique. Now, this is a great leveling cluster jewel, but it's also really good for any deck stacking. And in this event, there's so much deck stacking ascendancies that allow you to really scale your character with your dexterity. So people have been buying one with nothing for like 20 chaos each. I think as the league goes on, these two will likely go to become quite worthless. It's my expectation, and the interrogation will likely drop in price, especially after this video when people realize how easy it is to farm these. But it's still very worthwhile to farm the jewels. I think if you can get them with a nice corrupt, I think these are worth quite a lot of money as well. Well, that's for the quick demonstration. All the other jewels are pretty worthless. I've got them all in this little stash tab here. You can see how many jewels I farmed, but yeah, only these 3 is worth any money. The interrogation, the Calamitous Visions, and one with nothing. But well, there you go. That's the map. You can see that we took 3 minutes. I took a bit slow. We didn't see Koses until the end, but I think if you're focused and zoned in and you have a fast character, you can definitely crank one out in 2 minutes, and you can go through these maps like crazy in the space of an hour. I was gonna end the video there, but I realized that I may have not explained the idol setup as well as I could have, or maybe I spoke a bit fast and people are still confused by something. So I've made this Google Sheet to explain, one, kind of like what the strategy is, and two, what are the test results and profit we made here. So you can go through this first strategy tab, which just explains kind of like the mechanics of dropping the interrogation, how to stack idols to make sure you guarantee the bosses, and how to stack kind of the unique cluster jewel drop chances to make as many cluster jewels drop as possible. I think the average mass comes down to 7.6 maps per interrogation. So coming over here, it's my 70 drop test. It's a bit more than 70 maps. I think I did 75, but hey, it's pretty close. You can see all the drops I had. I've definitely gotten a little bit lucky on the interrogation. I think maybe I should have gotten 10 instead of 12, but hey, I'm not complaining. Now, I've only priced these at 4 divines, but really I have been selling these at 5 divines or even 6 divines. If you bought one of these in the past few days, it probably was me. I think at any time there's about 13 or 14 listings on the market, and my listing has always been the top 1 or 2 whenever I play the game at least. So if I'm sleeping, then yeah, it probably wasn't me. So we've made a total of 56 divines altogether. This is quite conservative in terms of estimates, and the cost is incredibly cheap. The daily orbs are almost nothing. I put 3 cows there, but I've bought these for like 1 cows each on the first couple of days. The tier 16 maps, I put 5 cows each. I've self-farmed these, so it was actually no cost at all. The overall profit, quite conservatively, I've made 48 divines. I put 4 minutes per map. That's quite conservative. Like I said, you can probably do it in 3 minutes or even 2 minutes if you're fast, but even at 4 minutes, you get to something like 10 divines per hour. So there you go. Interrogation is a crazily profitable farm, and it's one that is fairly easy, and if you need the jewel, I would definitely recommend having a go at this yourself because it's actually quite consistent. Well, that's it. This is Sheepishly once again. If you like this content, I want to see more of it, please like and subscribe. Or if you have any feedback for me, or if you have any ideas for things you want me to farm or builds you want me to look at, please comment below. Good luck with your interrogation farms, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.